Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And it is a Wednesday, and I'm back. I am actually here on a Wednesday night. So, guys, Paul Pogba will be leaving Manchester United, followed by Jesse Lingard, as I call him, Messy Lingard. Welcome to the channel, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Man United Agenda. And as always, guys, we are joined with a fantastic panel. So, the troublemaker is back. Welcome back, Rebel. We have not seen you for a very long time, sir.
Well, hello, Harry Potter, live from under the stairs. How are you doing?
And as always, we've got a Monday, sir. How are we doing?
Signing in on time.
Just about. Petty Talk United, welcome back, sir.
Nice, thank you for having me. Big up to obviously the fellas and every single one of you obviously who are watching this evening.
And Pat Lawless, one of our members, welcome to the 8 o'clock show.
Thanks very much, lads. First time.
Excited. I don't know about that. You got Rebel on, so you might be, some counter arguments are coming your way.
Here, if we started talking about what we would be really arguing about, you wouldn't understand a word of it.
Well, you know what? Me and Petty Talk, we might start talking patois or something like that. You never know. You never know. Guys, how are we all doing? It is a Wednesday, middle of the week. I am absolutely knackered, but at the same time, you can't keep Manchester United out of the papers or in the news or anything when you look at it. So today we've now found out that Paul Pogba, 1st of June, Paul Pogba will be leaving Manchester United. And his dabbing friend, Messy Lingard. So, Rebel.
Yeah.
Pogba.
Look, I suppose it's not exactly coming as a surprise. We've repeated the letting Pogba leave in a free trick, so we're doubling down on that. He clearly wasn't happy at Manchester United, whether it was to do with players that were put around him, whether it was to do with the structure of the coaching. He's decided time's up for me. It's time for me to get a new challenge, and he's going to be playing his football elsewhere next season. Now, the problem for us is it's compounding a large volume of central midfielders that are leaving the club. We now have Mata, Matic, Pogba, amongst others, all after departing. So it's going to create a necessity to get somebody in, maybe two in, Garner returning for next season, I think, because we're going to need some depth, because you're still, regardless of what way you look at it, going to be playing in 2 domestic cups, the Premier League and a Europa Cup. So it's going to be very important how they deal with the departures in this one singular position.
And I'm going to come because on Monday, you're always on the channel anyway, so ignore you. We don't want to know your opinion. We want to know about Pat Lawless' opinion.
So Pogba's gone. Jesse's gone. Mata and Matic are gone. As much as it is for midfielders gone, how many weeks on end did we go without having 4 of them in the team? It was mainly McFred as our defensive midfield 2. Pogba was injured. And Matic just didn't get a run in. So we will need reinforcements, but I really don't feel we're going to miss them as much as people may think.
That's fair.
I am muted, but it is fair point. And Petty Talk, come on, sir. I had a conversation with you today about Paul Pogba, and let's hear it now. Let's hear it because, as I said to you earlier, looking at Paul Pogba's stats to Juventus to Manchester United, he's got a better goal ratio, better stats than when he was at Juventus, and people raving about him at Juventus. He's at Manchester United now, and it seems like he's downgraded. Well, I don't actually think he's downgraded. I just think he hasn't had the right players around him
Yeah,
in the formation and the way he meant to be playing, exactly how he plays for France, exactly how he played for Juventus. So Petty, it's all you.
So obviously Pogba was one of them for me. When we first signed him, I was like everyone else, I was buzzing. I thought, yes, here we go. He's come home. We all know his talent is amazing when he decides to turn it on, in my opinion. And for these last couple of years at United, it's just inconsistent all the time. He's fit, then he's injured, then he's no longer his agent anymore. Obviously, rest in peace because he's not here. But he used to always cause a lot of trouble. There was a saga around every single summer. Is he staying? Is he going? What's he doing? And he just didn't look interested, if I'm being honest with you, towards the end. He just thought, yeah, I'm just there. See me contract the last few days out. I'm going to leave. And to be honest with you, I think it's the best of both parties for me. We can move on now without hearing Paul Pogba this, Paul Pogba that. Because let's be honest, the British media do go in on Pogba a little bit too much, if I'm being honest with you, for their own little agendas, like Souness and people like that. But I think it'll just be great now. So we can just move on. We can hopefully look to the future. But I agree with what the lads are saying. We need to get numbers in that midfield because we are starting to look a bit short, considering we've only got Fred, who I currently rate, and Jimmy Garner off the McTominay. I don't think he's a first team on. He certainly can't replace Paul Pogba.
Man of reason. OMONDI. Apologies, you're the last one, but let's go to you.
I just think the whole mood in here is really somber. Are we celebrating the death of a great player? I don't know. I think it's a celebration in order and a lesson. It's a lesson for us because we're on to pastures new now, and we need to look at Pogba leaving, a world-class player. I believe people can argue that all day long, but a world-class, talented player, World Cup winner, European Championship winner as well. He's done it all. But at domestic level, he must be disappointed and he must want to leave. The amount of abuse he gets from fans, even today on social media and all over, rival fans are putting their boots in on Man United, saying, ha, 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 you bought it, you let him go for free, then you spent 100 million, now you let him go for free again, like it's something really bad, you know. To be honest, he had a bad spell at Man United, didn't really achieve what we expect him to achieve. But like I said, this is a lesson that we need to learn going forward, that we cannot afford to have kind of stupid transfer deals like that and stupid decision making like this. We bring in good players, let them, and we got to bring him to a structure that works. Which is, it's like we're playing trump cards or something. Oh, Pogba's good. He's one of the better players. Let's just buy him. And with no kind of, there's no substance to it. There's no formula to how we're going to use him and utilize him. Really disappointing for a club like of our stature to be in a situation like that where we're letting him go. So I think it's a lesson. I think we need to celebrate that we're going forward from this and we will not be making the same mistakes again. I think we need to bring, when we remember Pogba's name, and everyone wants to be remembered for something, but it's not going to be, it's going to be frowned upon. But I will say this, I think he was let down as a player of his ability to come into a big club. It should be a stage for him to perform and do his stuff in a system that works for him. And we didn't even have that. So in a way, I just think going forward, any kind of transfer discussion that we're having about a player, it has to be the right moves. It has to be the right moves from now on. And if you want to compare, make comparisons, we can always use Pogba as a comparison, as a guy that we let down as a club and bringing in something just because of a name or just because he was available and that kind of thing. Let's make sensible signings from now on, please.
Can I just come in on the back of that? And Monday said that he was let down by the club. But at the same time, a man of his price tag, a man of his caliber, a man with his absolute God-given ability to be able to turn a game on its head, you'd have thought that if he wanted to pick that club up by the scruff of the neck, that he would have done what Roy Keane used to do and dag those players out of it. Made it his mission that he expected more performance from the players around him. Maybe it wasn't in those players. Maybe the tactics weren't there. But it felt at times like he didn't show that he cared enough about the badge that he was wearing, even though he was supremely talented.
Can I jump in, please? Because this is where we're going to bump it. Rebel comes back, and straight away we're bumping heads at the start of the show. I totally disagree with you, Rebel, and I don't know what you two think down the bottom there. But you were talking like you're pointing fingers again at a player who's multi-talented and he's been let down by the club. What systems has he come into? He started under Mourinho. He's come under Ole. I mean, he's been put up on the left. He's been playing all over the place. You should build a team around players like that, and we failed to do that. And all we're doing is say, oh, he fell over, or how he passes. Like I've seen games where McTominay's give the ball away tons of times. Pogba makes one mistake, and that's the headline, you know. And I think it's really unfair. They're talking about his haircut. They're talking about his dance moves. Even players like Roy Keane and Graham Souness as well are giving him pelters. And I think I sense a hint of that from you, Rebel, as well. You're giving him pelters based on, you've got to do A, B, and C to be a great player. You've got to slide tackle. You've got to fight for the cause and all this kind of thing. This is a talented player. I think you're expecting too much from him. I do. One thing I will say about him, he's a great player, but he needs a good team around him. And that's what we failed to do. Who we had him with, Fellaini and McTominay and Fred, all these guys, not good enough. And that's where he needs to go on to a team where he can be appreciated.
Armando, take Fred's out your mouth now. Don't do it to me. Don't let me go there. Don't let me go there.
The biggest problem with Pogba was the circus that came with the price tag. And even when he wasn't playing, he was getting slated. It became a running joke that Graham Souness was slagging him off when he wasn't even playing, blaming Pogba. It's all his fault when he never even played. I'm just glad. I'm really just glad that he wasn't given another bumper deal of 500k, because we just need to really get away from that and let Ronaldo be the last one. Let there be sensible signings, sensible contracts.
Anything on that, Petty, for you?
I'm just stood here, sat here smiling. Obviously, the two lads at the top going at it. Because listen, at the end of the day, I'm happy Pogba's gone today. I had a little smile on my face. I can't lie, because it is a circus, but he's gone, and we can find out who the new scapegoat will be next season. Because we know it will be someone else, don't we? But yeah, I'm happy he's gone.
The scapegoat with Fred, my boy. He'll be the next one, isn't it?
I have a feeling it might be Bruno.
Yeah, he deserves it a little bit, though,
just because he throws his arms around the place and the wine, and so he needs to cut that out so he doesn't keep the eye on him.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move this around a bit. Let's go to who am I want to move? I want to move someone here. So this is the graphic. Rebel, you're right. Babe's right down the bottom, yeah? Rebel. Oh, I swear I just moved Rebel to the bottom. Where is it gone? So guys, we're going to go through some of these graphics, what TalkMU have done so kindly for us. Paul Pogba, age 29, midfield. Let's remove this banner off. Thank you. So let me just do this. So with it, guys, 39 goals in 29 goals in 157 appearances, I believe, in the Premier League. And all competition is 39 goals in all competition. We're talking in the back, and he rolled up 0.18. Now his costs, was it 93 million?
Something like that, yeah. So
93 million for player. And when you see him playing for France as well, and you see him in the changing room, I don't know what he's like at the changing room, Man United, but he seemed very animated. He seemed very much sort of like he's the one who gives the team talk. So how can a player, and like what Armando said, and I truly agree with what Armando says, he's basically had everything thrown him at Man United, like from the fans' point of view. If you have a bad game, all of a sudden, let's blame Pogba. The media, about his haircut costing 100 and something pound or £2,000. Who cares about his haircut? To be honest with you, he's earning the money. You can do whatever you want with the money, what you're earning. It doesn't matter. But I think because he's been used so much as a scapegoat at Manchester United, he's just fallen out of form. And that's my honest opinion with it. He's fallen out of love with Man United fans, and he's just run his contract down. I don't know what anyone else think about that.
Figures with Pogba, I think it like you look at Pogba and he's more of a brand, isn't there? Like same as with Mbappe and players like that. So I think when you're a big player, as they like to call themselves, I think you've got to sort of be able to switch and change things on your own. And obviously at Manchester United over the 6 years has it been 5-6 years? For me, he's personally not done that, but he's still carried on like he can quite rightly do. But he's carried on living the one of the best players in the world, their lifestyles, and obviously that's where I think that a lot of the United fans are starting to look at it, if I'm being honest with you. Or some of the fan base.
I actually agree a lot with Petty there, and I suppose just kind of throw in a couple of names that Pogba played with at Juventus. He was playing in central midfield with Davids and Pirlo at one point. And he also played with Sami Khedira in a later iteration, so that's a lot to take into account.
Yeah, you know what, guys? I think his reputation, isn't it? And I think people listen to the wrong kind of. His reputation was tarnished because of bad comments from old school players, I believe. When you look at a player like Ronaldinho, he goes on the pitch, he enjoys himself. Granted, off the pitch, he used to go nightclubbing, and people used to say, "Okay, that's fine, that's fine." Eric Cantona, some things were excused by him. You heard that great story by Lee Sharp, talking about, "Yeah, you done wrong," and Eric Cantona goes and kicks a fan, and he said, "You still don't want to be doing that." Ferguson said, I think with talented players, you have to give them a bly. And if you know what a bly means, just give them a break sometimes. Try to, what it is, we're talking about 3 players today that are leaving the club. And you've got to find ways, you've got to be a psychologist. You've got to find ways to push their buttons, to get the best out of them. And I don't feel we've done that. And I think the fans are really unintelligent as well when it comes to Pogba. There is a lot of prejudice as well. I mean, how dare they boo him like that the other day? I've never heard accusations that he doesn't train hard enough. I've seen him for France. There's footage of him at France in the change room, giving a rousing team talk, passionate. And I'm sure he'd have the same passion about Man United as well. He wants to achieve. This is a player, he's 29 years old and must be feeling gutted that he's wasted a lot of his years at a club that haven't helped him in any way. But they're saying "Oh, you should be like Diego Maradona in '86 and we expect you to perform miracles for us." This is not the player he is. If you want a Roy Keane, buy a Roy Keane type of player. He's not a Roy Keane type of player. He puts the work in as far as I can see. He's talented. You've got to play to his strengths. It's hard to get the ball off him. He's 2-footed. His passing distribution is brilliant. I think he's a great player to have around the pitch. You only have to listen to what other players playing against him say. I heard comments from Premiership players saying, "Oh my God, Pogba is so difficult to play against. He's so hard. He's so strong. He's so hard to get the ball off him. He's so talented." Wow, I just think it's such a shame. Like I said from the start, it's a lesson to us. If we buy it, if say we get Frankie de Jong, for example, put him on big wages, hopefully people will be intelligent enough to say, what is his game? Is he going to be running around tackling people like McTominay and Roy Keane, that kind of thing? Or are we going to appreciate the skills and the talent that he got and build a team around that, to make the team better at the end of the day? I think we failed Pogba big time.
I agree with you 100% there as well. I'm on there with it. I think if you look at the coaching we've got Man United over the years as well, it hasn't helped the situation whatsoever with Paul Pogba at the club. So for me, I'm going to be open and honest. It's sort of, as you said, I'm on there again, wasted. He wasted so many years at the club, but now the circus has gone away from Manchester United. So now, hopefully, fingers crossed, we can now start a new journey because it's a new era under Ten Hag now. So let's see what players we can bring in. I hope Pogba don't come back and haunt us in a cup final or something like that in the future. Anything from Petty or Pat?
All I'm gonna say is I'd love to knock Juventus out of the Champions.
Petty is gone.
He'd love to knock himself out.
Oh, he knocked himself out. Oh, God. Oh dear.
Look, in one sense, I'm glad to see him gone. Look, at one stage, my own Man United compadres were calling me deluded, saying, "Why do you keep sticking for Pogba?" Because I was just hoping that manager after manager, he was going to come good. He was going to show more energy levels. Not that I'm saying he's lazy, but he just didn't see consistent. He wasn't consistent enough, and he looked like he was running himself into the ground. Like, do you remember when Carlos Tevez played for Man United? When he got the ball, he just bombed forward, and as soon as he got the ball at his feet, every Man United fan in that stadium leapt to their feet. I've never once done that watching Paul Pogba. Now, don't get me wrong, I've applauded him for some of the balls and some of the work he's done, but I've never seen that energy, that dynamic energy where I go, Jesus, that was good. Well done, Pogba. more frustration than not is what I felt with Pogba, regardless of how good he is. And I've never doubted how good he is.
I'm muted because there's an echo coming along and I don't understand the echo. So guys, 17 in the chat, please hit that like and share and subscribe button. And Monday is going to take it away because we have got quite a lot of people talking about Paul Pogba's situation in the comments.
Yeah, it's just stirring up a lot of comments here. Guys, if you want to stop me in any of these comments and discuss it, please feel free, because I think we need to really go deep into this. So first of all, what HD Gamer, he's saying the social media dancers and fashion boys are gone. Shoo. So that's a negative comment. He thinks this is the modern game generation we're living in, and everyone has got social media. So yeah, he's saying something negative there. Box is saying Ghana plus Hannibal plus Van der Beek to come in who weren't there last year. So I think that's to add to what Pat Lawless was saying earlier about these players hardly played anyway. KG Game is saying Pogba was a disappointment. 1 meter 98 over 6. Is it 198? 198 minutes over 6 years for one good 45 million. Oh, sorry, for one good 45 minutes a year. That's the running joke, isn't it? Yeah. Rush Marno's in the house. Want to say hi to Rush. Box again. I know Box is a man of reason. He says, "Can we see parallels between Pogba and Ozil?" That's interesting, that, because I mentioned that earlier to an Arsenal fan.
It is quite a good thingy with that on Monday, because didn't Ozil got sort of that pay rise and all of a sudden he just stink the place out? And I think Pogba at the moment, I don't think Pogba stink the place out. I just think he hasn't had the right coach and he hasn't had the right players around him. And I think probably the same thing with Ozil as well. Was sold a dream and a promise and it didn't come through.
The parallel for me is Ozil's a quality player. You saw what he did at Real Madrid. He was a top player. That was a great coup for Arsenal to sign him, and he failed to deliver. And you have to ask questions about that. And then they released him on a free. Those are the parallels for me. I think he would look at his Arsenal career and say that was a disappointment. I don't know what you guys think.
Can I just throw in one quick comment on that, actually? You mentioned Ozil, and I think the thing with Ozil, actually, in the end, was his mental state in terms of his ambition and his desire for the club pretty much deteriorated to nothing before he moved on. So maybe there's a lot of similarities in that mentally Pogba had checked out.
The boys, anyone to add anything to that?
Yeah, I totally agree with what every single one of you have said, because Ozil's also, when he was at Arsenal, he didn't feel love towards the end, did he, with the fans and the club and everything that was going on. So with Pogba, it's ended the same way, for being honest. So listen, I'm not a Pogba, well, I am a Pogba fan, if you get what I mean, but I'm not like one of them fans who just sit there and be like, oh, Pogba this, Pogba that. I'll view it with my own eyes. But listen, I wish him all the best at the end of the day. He was from Carrington, wasn't there? And it is a shame it never worked out, because he is a quality player.
Pat Lawless, last words.
He was the type of player who deserved a free role in the team to do what he wanted. And we never had the midfield to back him up.
Pow. Pow. Say that again.
We never had a proper DM. Yeah, we never had a proper DM in all the years.
Good shout. Ewan says best players don't need a team built to suit their style of play. That's an interesting one. Emma's in the house as well. HG Gamer says you got to ask where's Paul Pogba in all of this. Rich Sports is in the house. He's saying glad they finally left. He's talking about the number of players. We've got a great N Snow $5. A lot of excuses for players. These guys. He is talented, but does not go the extra mile. I think that's a myth. But thanks for the money.
Thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, man.
HD Game is saying Pogba is at fault for picking United over Real Madrid in 2016. Talk MU is saying Pogba just not suited to Premier League in his opinion. Rush Mano saying Pogba never denied Mino's comments about the club before a big game, and Pogba allowed it. Really, that is poor. So the evidence here for criticism is not much. Yeah, it seems personal. Ewan says the reason he has played all over the place is because he is inconsistent in every position.
That's Owen, by the way, on Monday.
Oh, so how do I pronounce that?
Just Owen. Same as
Owen.
same as pronounced on your way.
Okay, I've butchered it.
It's from London.
That's
It's from
all
London.
right.
You'll get it. You'll get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Owen. So Box is saying time for Ten Hag to get the man he wants, which suit the system. Less big names now, new vision. So that's a positive comment. Yasua, all the way from not Barcelona, from Ghana. Hope you're
Ghana,
doing well. He's saying here, Pogba's been bang average from day one. What has he actually done in his career in the first place before United, playing that crazy amount of money for him? He's never a leader at any point. Emma Kay saying, to be fair, everybody's underperforming at Manchester United. Good point. Look at Lingard at West Ham compared to him at United. We need to fix up. That's a nice comment there. Talk say about Monday, you need to explain the intermittent performances. Matthew Bassett saying Pogba's biggest problem is that he was brought for the wrong reasons. Just going to do a couple more. I want to say hi to Steve Fletcher's in the house. Promises were made to Pogba about coming to a side that can challenge for the league and never happened. And we were promised Paul would be the catalyst and that never happened. Best for both parties. Great comment. And I'm going to leave it there because there's too many.
No, we've still got a few. We've got
Can I just come in briefly on one from MK? I think actually she made a great point there. And is the weight of the jersey a lot to do with the way players perform at the club? Because we are seeing the players like Foden over the years, players like Lingard, that when they've left United, that we've seen their best work.
Can I respond to that very quickly? I think it's the weight of the fans, uneducated football fans that expect something from a past era and don't understand how football. They're talking about dark ages football. Oh, you got to clap someone. You got to do an Alfie Haaland like Roy Keane on someone to be a legend out here. I do find it like I despair sometimes reading the comments and seeing the attitude of some fans towards players. Reason why like them, let's justify it. Go into reason. You don't feel he works too hard. Oh, he only puts in 45 minutes a season. There's a lot of stuff which, when you really scratch the surface, is not really true. But this is why it's a good discussion. This is why Pogba, whenever we mention Pogba's name, we always get good traction from it, I believe. But Travis Richards is in the house. He says, top class content as always. Big up, guys. And big up to you, Travis, for that. Thank you.
And once again, guys, we just want to say thank you so much as well for that $5 as well. Really appreciate it. It does go to Mr. B Swear Jar. He's not here tonight, but I'm pretty certain he'll be back tomorrow. But I really appreciate that, guys. Thank you. So, guys, remember, on the channel as well, you can also become members. And as you can see, Pat Lawless is on the channel at the moment, and he's a member. And that's the reason why he's sitting down the bottom to give his opinion on the channel. So you can become a member of the United Agenda as well and feature on it as well. So let's move on to my guy now. And we've had lots of bumpy heads, me and OMONDI and Mr. B, who's here at the moment, regarding one Messi Lingard. Now, this is a player again, same as Paul Pogba, I thought to myself, you know what? He's been mistreated at Manchester United as well. And especially when he was going through the period when he had a mental health breakdown and everything, and everyone was coming out criticizing him. And he went to West Ham and he done really well at West Ham. He came back at Man United with a promise. I honestly don't think when he came back from West Ham, leading up to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's sacking, he did anything wrong. The issue is he wanted a contract and he wasn't given the contract that he actually wanted. And I believe that's when everything went south for Messi Lingard. And I call him Messi Lingard because I love it, because whenever he goes to Arsenal Stadium, he always scores and moonwalk all over them. So for me, guys, him leaving Manchester, I know Mr. B is not here, but if Mr. B was here now, he'd be smiling. He'd be happy. So let's kickstart Petty with it. Lingard leaving Manchester United, let his contract run down, same age as Pogba. And also, he's another one that Graham Southgate always put in his England team as well.
Yeah, so obviously Mr. B's not here to smile, so I'll do the smiling for you instead. Another player, for me, it's the era of the United squad, what we've currently just had. We've got players from absolutely every single different manager going. And for me, Lingard, he is a good player, but I think he's got to be playing all the time. He's got to be promised minutes. And at Manchester United, listen, if you're not performing to the highest level, you don't get played at the end of it. Well, how it should be, the old Manchester United. And Lingard, he should have left when he was at West Ham on loan because his stocks was never higher for me personally. He was scoring all the time, like you say, he was playing like Messi. Lingard, he was quality. For me, and listen, I might be wrong here, but I'm just going to say it. I think he wanted to do a season with Cristiano Ronaldo.
I agree with that as well. His idols come back to Old Trafford, and you've got to remember as well. I don't know if you guys saw the photographs that was floating around with him and Cristiano Ronaldo when he was slightly younger with Ronaldo. You know, he idolized him.
Yeah, that's what I think it come down to personally this season. And I just thought, got me pictures now with Ronaldo. I can leave in the summer because listen, teams will be in for Lingard. Very, very good teams because he's not a rubbish player. He can offer a team a lot of things. He gets goals, he gets assists. So listen, one of our own, same as Pogba. All the best to Jesse.
Yeah, and looking at the goals and the ratio as well, he's not far off in all competition from Paul Pogba as well. 4 goals less than Paul Pogba.
Mad when you look at it like that, innit? He's obviously there. He's at 21 assists. He's at in like a hole.
More assists than Paul Pogba as well.
Yeah. So listen, he was our only number 10 for a. Was it when Ollie first come in and we had Pereira playing there for a little bit? And listen, we've had good times with Jesse. Like you say, he's danced all over the Emirates. Well, moonwalks over it, I should say. He's scored in cup finals, hasn't he? He's basically lived all our dream, hasn't he? He's played for the team we all love and what he loves. Listen, Lingard, he did used to make us smile, didn't he? But I think we're past that stage now. We need to start smiling on the football pitch instead of a bit off it.
And also, you got to remember as well with it, he scored. He scored a winner in the FA Cup final, and LVG got sacked literally a week later. Can't make it up, can you? On Monday.
Yeah, I just want to say I'll be very brief on this. Lingard's a good player, but I've never felt that he was a first-team player for Manchester United. I like what he does on the pitch. I know that he works really hard. You listen to what players say about him. He works really hard. He's one of the fittest guys in the squad, and I wish him well going forward. Just as Petty said, 29 years old. I think he made a mistake coming back to the club. When you look a bit like Martial, he's gone away on loan at his age. He's coming back to the club. No, there's no future for you. We got to start go with younger players, and I feel like in Lingard and people like Angel Gomez, who was there at one point, and we got this conveyor belt of youngsters coming through. And if you did get to Lingard's age, where he was still alone at the age of 23, 24, 25, that just shows you he's never really going to be a first-team player. I think by the time you get to about 22, 23, if you've got the credentials or not. And I think with Lingard, he had a click going with Rashford. They're very good friends. And maybe I felt that keeping him around was maybe keeping a few players happy and keeping that click going. Obviously, you've seen him in the change room. They won the Youth Cup with Pogba. So they're friends. They go way back. So I think Lingard's a good Premiership player. I don't think he's top class, but I do appreciate his work rate. And I think he will have a better career by going away and doing something elsewhere. I remember one time he scored like 4 or 5 goals for Birmingham on loan. I was thinking, okay, that's good. But I'm looking forward to the future now, not these guys. It's a lesson again that we've made big errors in our decision making about players, keeping them on when it wasn't necessary. Lingard should have been sold, in my opinion, in 2015, 2016, because clearly, in my opinion, he wasn't good enough compared to what we were up against with the Man City and all the other big teams, Chelsea's and the Arsenal's, whoever. When I compare, I look at the players like that. I look, okay, he wouldn't probably get into these sides. Why are we keeping him on? It's not like he's doing anything special. I know we scored a beautiful goal winner at West Ham this year coming off the bench, but there's the moments of not really there. I like Nani, for example. Nani, to me, was a fantastic player who doesn't get enough credit for what he did at the club. So Lingard, I would never disrespect a professional footballer, but I just don't think he was as good enough to be a first-team player at Manchester United ever.
Pat.
It was all about timing for Jesse towards the end. He came back from West Ham at the wrong time. If he came back from West Ham now to Eric Ten Hag's team, I think he would have been useful for Eric for the last remaining year or two of his contract, of his career, should I say. And look, he was always going to have to sit on the bench because he's not a first team starter. But there's bigger and better players than him sitting on the bench at City and Liverpool. So if he's not willing to sit on the bench at Man United, moving on is the best thing for him.
Yeah, and going back to that as well, guys, do you think, because I just had an idea, do you think if Arsenal come for him, he would fit in the Arsenal system, wouldn't he? And he would start for Arsenal as well.
Do you think
No?
do you not think Smith Rowe and Odegaard would start ahead of Lingard? I don't see. Yeah, I think they would, wouldn't they? Personally, I think Lingard's ceiling sort of like a West Ham, a Leicester, even a Roma. No, if
You can't really say that because Arsenal, they beat Arsenal, didn't they?
I'll be honest with you. I don't think he makes it into the West Ham team now, even. I think they've gotten in players that are probably above him at this point. Like, the way I look at Jesse Lingard is, unfortunately for him, he was sold a pup at the start of the season after coming back from his loan spell at West Ham. He was told that he was part of all these plans. Stuff happened that he didn't really get those game opportunities. He had the calamity in that opening Champions League game. And then when Rangnick came in, unfortunately, he was told he was allowed leave. Then we had the other business that happened with a certain player that we won't name. And all of a sudden, then there was a requirement to keep him. So it all went very sour. And there's actually another player that you talked about last night that I think is in a very similar mold. The preseason Pirlo, Andres Pereira. He's one of these players, basically, that, again, he's going to be a squad player. You might use him here, there. You might have him to do a job in particular games. But consistently, you're not going to have him as your first teamer.
Can I butt in there for 1 second, Red? Because I'm bumping heads with you right now, yeah, with this one. As much as we're saying Pereira has been I don't think he's given the opportunity at Manchester United. I thought he was one of these players that Man United bought just for the sake of buying it to see whether or not we could probably make a bit of money for him because we're Manchester United. With a manager coming in, like with Ten Hag, don't you think and don't you believe Ten Hag can improve him? Because if you look at a player like Jordan Henderson at Liverpool, no one rated him, did they? Most Liverpool fans wanted him gone. And what happened? Klopp came in and changed him completely into probably one of the best midfield players under Klopp's era at Liverpool. It can happen. It can work.
I see your point, but there's two players that Ten Hag will probably be working with before him, and that is Garner and Hannibal.
Yeah.
He's made me cross my arms there, lads, when you're talking about Pereira. He's only fit to hand out the slices of oranges, lads. That's it.
I agree.
Here.
I'm holding my own. Just
I'm
like
sorry,
Fred.
Solo. I have got a soft spot for the lad because God love him. He did try.
I did try.
He's just not good enough. Like
Oh,
Jordan Henderson runs around that pitch like a fly in your face when you have the ball, and that's what we need to implement into some of our players if they haven't got the skill set.
Oh God! Right, on Monday, some comments for you, sir. I'm going to put you on big screen anyway.
Hello, everyone. It's me on big screen. How you doing, everyone? Anyway, let's go through some comments because obviously we talk about Lingard now, and it's not getting enough traction like Pogba, but still quite a few things being said here. Stephen Fletcher saying Jesse scored some big goals for us and has some great performances. Should have let him go when we could have made some money off him. More evidence of poor decision making. That's a great comment there by Stephen Fletcher. Who's also one of our own. Rush Mano saying the contract Lingard was offered worked out lower than his current wages. That was a point there by Rush Mano. HD Gamer says, only thing I had a problem with Lingard was him always flirting with West Ham for about a year with a load of pictures on IG. I know Rebel knows about that story. Emma Kay is saying they should have sold him to West Ham when he came back from them. But the higher-ups blocked it and asking for too much money that West Ham wouldn't or couldn't pay. Carmo O'Connor. Callum O'Connor, excuse me. This is an Irish man. He says, I love Lingard. He had so much talent and a massive ceiling. Unfortunately, another player who hasn't reached it at United. He has shown it. He can do it at the highest level. I wish him all the best. That's a really nice comment there. And let's go here to Stephen Fletcher again. Jesse would have been great to keep as a squad player, but I think he thinks he should start. He might be right, just not at United. And Anthony Herbert, Arsenal fan, says, agree with Omondi, he should have left with more game time and experience plus goals too. Vincent saying, oh my God, Solo, anyone can walk into the Arsenal team. It's garbage. Rushmano saying Lingard to Newcastle would be perfect for him. I don't know what you guys think about that. Also, HG Gamer saying Lingard to Newcastle with a question mark. That could be a good fit. Rushmano saying Lingard looking for 180k wages, being told to lower them at Newcastle. I see he's got a scoop there. Vincent saying Newcastle don't want Lingard. They don't want to pay his wages, what he's on, and he's the type of man that won't take a pay cut. He spent 2 years moaning and promoting his clothes company. Is it a clothes company he's saying there? Came first with him, so his outside influences. And Emma Kay is saying Ten Hag and his team can probably improve a lot of players if just need time to do that. Matthew Bassett finally saying Ollie didn't want Jesse, but the board refused to budge on their price for him. And sorry, one more from JR is in the house. He's saying good luck to Jesse. We will always remember the Emirates moonwalk. There you go. Thank you. And welcome to, this is from Man United, welcome to all Rebels and Pats, fellow Irishmen. Keep the comments coming in and we can get Omondi to say your names right. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm a quarter Irish. Do you know that? My nan was from Cork, so I should know these names. But Callum...
Hold on, I wonder, how come we've never had this discussion before? Because my surname's Irish as well. Irish as well. My
surname is Forbes, which is Scottish.
Okay, Scottish. You're Scottish. I'm Irish. Mine's Irish. My surname is Irish. My great-granddad is from Cork, Ireland.
Yeah, my dad's Northern Irish, so it's a lot of us.
Oh my
We're
God,
all Irish.
It's an Irish panel.
The Irish agenda. That's what it should be called.
Oh, brilliant. So, guys, we're going to go into the favourites now. On Monday, you controlling the next topic. So we're going, oops. Mr. B, where are you, sir? Where are you? So obviously, guys, we know that Martial, he went to Sevilla because he didn't want to sit on the bench for Man United. In somewhere or another, I thought when he left, he should have stayed at Man United. He shouldn't have gone to Sevilla. But he went to Sevilla, and the fans booed him. He scored, I think he scored in his debut when he joined it. The first game he scored on it. And then after that, basically, the fans turned on him because he wasn't performing. It's like lazy. Some of the tabloids in Spain were saying he's very lazy. He doesn't look like he enjoys football anymore. I know Mr. B and on Monday was saying, I can't remember what you guys were using the other day on the channel. What were you calling him? There was a certain word on talk, or someone knew the word of it. I can't remember what it was about. Gallus, that's the one.
Right, yeah.
We've got it. So let's kickstart with Pat. Pat, is it time that Martial leave Man United? On top of my head, I can't remember. I think it's been 7, 8 years now. He's only, to me, in my opinion, only had one good season at Man United. And that's when he was playing sort of on the left, on the SHAH, where him, Mason Greenwood and Rashford probably outscored that whole Liverpool team and finished second in the Premier League that season. So is it time he leave, or do you think he could fit in the Ten Hag system and work with it? Because I'm going to be open and honest here. I think he can fit in the system, and I think he can do well under the system. That's me.
Do you remember when he first came to United? And he
scored what a legend, scored against Liverpool.
He scored against Liverpool. He took that ball and he just cut them in half. And that's the kind of football that I thought I was going to see from him till his dying days at Man United. And we haven't seen it. And that's what kills me about him. And we all know you don't just forget how to play football. So he's either made his money, just doesn't care anymore, or there hasn't been enough rocket stuck up his backside to get him going again. And maybe I don't think, like, if he goes around sulking in their team for the past 4 years, from what I've seen, the clips of this Eric Ten Hag fella, he probably won't last the first 2 training sessions. He'll run him out the door. He won't take moan or complaining or the sulky face.
And that's what you get with it, though. And I, like I said, in Ten Hag, I trust, and I think Ten Hag will do really well for Man United if he's been allowed or get the opportunity to do what he fancy and want to do. Petty talk.
Yeah, mate. So obviously, listen, Martial's one of them players where for the last couple of years, he hasn't seemed bothered, has he? He hasn't seemed interested. When he's on the pitch, he's just got his head down, shrugging his shoulders, coming off, smiling after we're getting beat and stuff. Obviously, it's not all down to him, but he just doesn't want to be at the club. And for me now, to move forward, Pogba, Lingard, Martial, the players who and ahhing all the time, or is he staying, is he going? We should just clear decks now and just start new, get new players in, hungry players and players who just want to play for the football club.
Rebel?
Yeah, I'm going to keep my points on Martial brief. I think at this stage, with the state that Manchester United are in, rebuilding a guy's confidence is probably not where we are at, unfortunately, because there's just too many problems that need addressing at Manchester United. So in reality, Martial probably needs to go to a club where he'd be taken under the wing of the gaffer, he'd be treated with the kid gloves, dabbed in cotton wool, and rebuilt mentally so that he can then start performing again on the pitch. And I'd just like to point out, even though I am from Kerry, I actually live in Cork.
He has to get that one out in it again. I'm from Cork, yeah.
No. That's very controversial.
OMONDI. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, this is the thing about I don't think we developed players over the years. Martial came to us as like the hot property from Monaco, playing wide, and he seems to sit on the touchline, get the ball, turn and run at people. That's his game. And I thought, okay, that's good. He's got good dribbling skills. He likes to square people up and do that dribble. But beyond that, maybe what Seville fans are feeling at the moment, he has not developed, in my opinion. We know what he's going to do. You don't see him really putting it in. I don't think he's vocal. Like we said the other day, he's one poker-faced. Sometimes I think you have to give a little something to show the fans that you're interested. And I just don't see that with him. I think Monaco were really clever there. They're a really good club for developing players. And they sold us him with some add-ons and all that kind of thing. And we thought, okay, we've got to play it here. And then suddenly they had Mbappe to come in to fill his boots, and we're watching on like, oh, wow. But I think it's a shame for Manchester United because we've killed his flow. When you bring in a youngster like that at an age like that, and you give him everything he wants and give him big wages, and he does have a great debut and it's a good start. He could have been a better player than he is. I think that kills his spirit. He thinks he's made it, and I think that's the culture at Man United, which we need to destroy, that people come there too comfortable, too young, and nothing to fight for. If we go back in history, people used to clean boots as an apprentice and come in, and it gave people some sort of responsibility and gave some desire to get to reach to become a top player. Even going back, I remember like players back in the day used to wait until like 26, 27 before they moved on. Look at Kenny Dalglish. He was at Celtic till like he was like 26, 27. Platini, before he went to Juve, he was that sort of age. You have to sort of build your trade at one club. So I think buying players young, you have to be really, like we bought Dallo recently and gave him, it was a big money signing. I think when you buy someone like Martial and buy him young, and at a club with no real development, this is a prime example of what can go wrong. And I think he would be disappointed with his career. And he has to look at himself as well, because sometimes you have that self-motivation. He needs to take a long, hard look at himself and say, I could have been a greater player than I actually am, and add more to his game. You talk about desire, talk about things like that. You have to be self-motivate. But when you've got that cream and you've got that money and you've got the nice girlfriend, well, he did have a nice girlfriend, and the riches and all that kind of thing, I think this is a prime case that's destroyed him and destroyed his motivation, in my opinion. But a very talented player, but I think it's now time for him to move on.
Wasn't it where his wife, I've got a few bits to touch on with that. Wasn't it his wife that he just broke up with said blame Manchester United for bringing him over from France and basically ruin their relationships because he was out with the lads all the time, partying, clubbing, because it's a culture, isn't it, where in sort of France and things, the culture is slightly different from the British culture. So they were out partying all the time. So I think there was a massive thing regarding it a few years ago where she blamed Man United as a football club and blamed the players at Man United for the culture of going out drinking and partying around other females and things like that. So I bet he was smiling when he's out partying, but when he plays football for Man United, he sulks. So, you know, but also, guys, I know, Omondi, you said something, and it is so good what you just said there. Who remember when Vidic and Evra, Ferguson signed them in January transfer window, and they played, I think, was it against Paulo Wanchope? Who did they play against? And they got absolutely destroyed. And then all of a sudden, you didn't see them for about 2-3 months, and apparently we were on garden leave. And what they were doing was, if you listen to what Patrice Evra said, Ferguson got him and Vidic to go around cleaning people's car in Manchester. Cleaning car, going to the gym, understanding how the British game work. And look at them, two of the greatest players in sort of like my era at Man United. I don't know what anyone's thoughts on that is.
Can I just come in briefly on that one? You mentioned about Martial going up partying and all the rest of it. Like, I'll be honest with you, that for me is slightly a cop-out because he is a professional player. He did not have to go out with the boys. He did not have to cozy up to any female that might have batted her eyelashes at him. Like, he's a grown man and he's fully capable of making his own decisions. But with regards to the Patrice Evra Vidic thing, that was actually a massive transformation because we did see them get caught up to ribbons. At the time, especially in Evra's position, we had a guy called Gabriel Heinze,
what a player!
Who was an absolute monster for us. And we were kind of wondering, why are we bringing in this guy? We have Heinze. He's doing a grand job. And in the first kind of touches of the ball, Evra kind of was giving us fear and trepidation that we'd got a dud, but they went away, they did their work. And I think Martial, there's still a player buried in there, but I don't think United is in a position where they can wait for the butterfly to come out of the eggshell. Or the cocoon, I should say.
19 in the chat. Give us a like, share, and subscribe, please, guys. And we are on the road to 2K subscriber. Anyone want to jump in on that one?
If they sell Martial now, we're not going to get anything for him. So maybe one more loan spell won't do any harm.
Do any teams even want Martial? Like, knowing you see
yeah,
all the rumours.
Dundee United's probably.
I thought it was Ackland Stanley. I thought Ackland Stanley wanted him.
Who are they?
Who are they? Exactly. Oh, remember that advert years ago on Monday with, was it the thingy, the little kid in the I sport Ackland Stanley. I can't remember who was it. What famous
Ian
person?
Rush.
I grow up, I want to play
Ian
for Ackland Stanley.
I want to play for Ackland Stanley. Absolute quality. On Monday, there's some more few comments coming through as well, and we've got your favorite part of the show coming up soon.
Okay, so help me again, Callum O'Connor. Am I right?
Callum O'Connor.
Callum says,
O'Connor.
I've watched some of his appearances whilst he's been on loan, and he looks like a shadow of the player he was. We talk about Martial here. I think he needs to go. As much as I like him, it would be best for us and him. Matthew Bassett saying, who's buying Martial? There's no interest in him. Steve Fletcher saying, Martial has a similar body language to Berbatov. Everyone moaned about him when he played, saying he looked lazy. The difference, Berbatov always had a positive contribution. Really good comment there. We're talking you saying Martial should be nowhere near the first team next season. Callum O'Connor saying, from what I understand, there's speculation that he's going to be part of the Martinez deal from Inter Milan. HD Gamer saying you would get a Mars bar for Martial right now. JR saying he's had poor coaching. He went to Seville thinking he was better than everyone else there. Steve Fletcher's got to go. He says he's got to shoot. Great stream and chat. Catch you next time. Great contribution. Thanks again.
Oh,
Steve
we
Fletcher.
will see him on Friday night. He's with you on Friday night.
Brilliant. KG Gamer saying prime example of Mason got all the money and it ruined someone's life. Talking about getting so much money at a young age. Ola Kunle saying, "Oh my God, the show was going well until and one day gassed away. Manchester United has ruined. Man United has ruined led players since." I can't understand this. Ruined players since Alex Ferguson left. Not one single player has improved. The board like the players out and about. Yeah, I agree with him there. We haven't developed players. He's also saying, I was trying to watch the whole show without commenting, but it's just too much for him. He couldn't resist.
Listen,
United are in the mud,
I'm going to call him
saying.
tomorrow. I'm calling you tomorrow. Watch. We're going to fight.
And his final thing, he said, for F's sake, we know what that means. Martial make weight. Yeah, he picks up 290 grand a week. United are only selling him of their part. Sort your grammar out, Ole, couldn't they, please? I can't read that. Thank you.
He's normally quite good with that as well.
I
But
know.
I think he's quick, fast typing to get us
Yeah.
though, isn't he? He's doing it to do it. And you got Emma as well, Emma K.
Oh, sorry, I missed this one. Emma's saying his self-control, staying faithful and sober is not the club's fault. That's his own fault. So rumours, Emma's got her ear to the ground. She's heard the rumours around town. And she wants to say hi to Brummy Reds as well. Brummy
Big
Reds
up.
is saying hi to us. So
Big up,
give you
big
a
up,
wave back.
big up.
Nice to join us.
And Vincent, thank you so much as well. 31 likes, 20 in the chat, guys. Surely we can hit at least 35 likes. Surely we can hit 40. Let's go 40. 9 more likes, guys. Smash that likes free of charge. Right, we're going to go on to De Jong. We've been talking about De Jong, and it's a circus at the moment with De Jong. 85 million. Apparently, Man United haven't given up hope of signing De Jong. Barcelona slapped that 85 million price tag on him. The player apparently came out, did an interview or something like that, saying he's not sure about it. He just wants to relax, chill out on his holiday, and then make a decision. But he's very happy at Barcelona. Obviously, every player will say they are happy at the club, even if they want to go or they want to stay. So this ain't going to be a long conversation, guys. De Jong, right? Anyone believe on this panel right now we will get De Jong?
Yeah.
You all think we'll get him? I'm not alone then. I didn't. You know what? It's mind-boggling because the issue is it's dragging out, and this just reminds me. I know Ten Hag's there, but this is my issue with Manchester United. Why do we find it? Everything get leaked in the paper, in every single organization when it comes to the media, yeah, and we can't get a deal over the line. When you look at Liverpool, Man City, they want to play, they go, they get the player. Nothing comes out whatsoever. Why is it that Man United take so long to get a deal over the line and everything come out in the laundry?
Well, you look at Liverpool and City, they're interested in Fabinho. 2 hours later, here we go. It's a done deal. You didn't even know he was in for the player like the day before. Fingers with United, I think it's just how it's been run. Well, let run at this moment in time like a circus. Obviously, you know we were signing weeks in advance because you get all the media saying, right, contracts agreed and know all the party and everything that comes with it. So it does get boring. So for me, I honestly do think we will get De Jong. And I honestly think, I actually think this could happen, not quite fast for United, and they could just get this one done and maybe timber and then obviously drag the feet out on the rest. But I truly do believe we will end up with Frankie De Jong because I think Barcelona have got to sell him. Well, or sell a asset, I should say.
They have to sell it, and he's the most valuable assets they've got at the club.
Yeah.
I think
Come to United.
Patra muted.
Hit the button.
Is that? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. So for Man United to get De Jong, it's going to be a case of as soon as you see Lewandowski leave Bayern, the following day you'll see De Jong go to Man United, or you'll see a deal agreed in principle for Lewandowski, and the same day Man United will be sold De Jong. That's exactly what's going to happen. Don't believe everything you hear the players say, or if. Do you remember Robbie Keane? any team he went to, his trademark joke in the first interview was, "It's my dream to pay for this club."
Liverpool,
Coventry, Wolves, Liverpool,
Inter Milan.
Every single interview is my dream to pay for this club. Look, he spent most of your life dreaming, Robbie.
But also, you got as well. It's not only him that did the dream as well. Damien Duff did the same thing as well, didn't he? He held out for Man United to get him, and Man United didn't get him. When he did his press conference, he said it was always a dream to play for Liverpool, but everyone know he wanted to go Man United.
Yeah. He could have been slagging Robbie Keane at the same time. They're good pals.
Actually, just to pick up briefly on a comment Matthew Bassett made, he's saying Lewandowski can't move to Barca until they raise some cash. There's actually 3 deals I think that are hinging on De Jong heading to Manchester United, and that obviously is the Lewandowski to Barca, and then of course the Mane to Munich to replace Lewandowski. So there's quite a lot of moves that will fall like dominoes once that starts. I think the only concern I'd have over De Jong, I think he's a great player. I think he'll work well under Ten Hag. Is if his heart is not in it, he might not really ever reach the levels that we would hope that he would reach. So hopefully he comes there with full heart, full belief that he wants to establish himself at United and lift that club back to where they belong.
For me, there's no question mark about his desire to be a great player. I've listened to interviews from him. I've heard some top coaches talk about him as well. He's one of the best players out there in his position. His dream move was to go to Barca. We discussed this yesterday about the links with Dutch players and Barcelona because of Johan Cruyff. I just think we listened to the man. If you listen to what he said in his press conference and his interview, I think if you read between the lines, there's quite a lot of positivity about Manchester United. One, because we've got a manager he knows about. Two, because just like Dennis Bergkamp coming to Arsenal, he knows he could be a big player at Manchester United. We're needing a figurehead, someone who can sort of demonstrate the style of play. And I think it will give, whereas before we had a plan, we were all discussing, I'm sure we've all had this discussion about how long it will take for players to learn the system that Ten Hag's going to employ. And I think if we get a player like Frankie de Jong in, I think that would just like increase things, speed things up for us, because he's a player who sort of demonstrates exactly how the football's supposed to be played total football. He's got good technique. He's got good drive. He's comfortable in any position. He's comfortable under pressure. He can do it all, and he can make you play. He's a top player, a bit like Paul Scholes, completely different players. But when Paul Scholes had the ball, we could dictate the play. We knew how we were going to play. And I think the same applies for De Jong, as Petty's demonstrating there with his Barcelona 21 De Jong shirt. I think the same applies with De Jong. If we get him, then that will be a major statement about our intentions for next year. And we could start believing that the players will pick it up a lot quicker than they would have with just Donny there and just the coaches and that kind of thing. So I'm quite confident that we will get Frankie de Jong, and I think we will say slap to everyone's face who's been doubting Man United after a dreadful season.
Yeah, Armando, would you mind quickly, sorry, just go through some comments quickly again for me, please?
Okay, so with Frankie de Jong, I think HD Gamer saying De Jong not listening. Matthew Bassett saying, I don't think we're going to get De Jong, so he doesn't seem to think it's going to happen. Emma K is saying, our signings are probably going to be slow as we just got a new manager and hasn't talked to anyone before. I think they would have done that behind the scenes. Brabby Reds, let's see what he's got to say. He says, sure, they hired it at 2.8 or at 85 million onto him and Manchester United because they need the money, because they're in debt. And this is talking about Barcelona being in debt and up to their eyeballs in it. But it's only 65 million British pounds sterling, which is not that much for a player of his class. This has been counted by HD Gamer, who says it's about 72 mil for De Jong. But you say no, just no. Lewandowski can't move until Barcelona raise some money, says Matthew Bassett. Callum says, I don't think there's any chance we will get De Jong, I'm afraid. I just move on from him, and the next target will be Neves. We shouldn't be begging a player to join us. We're Manchester United, not Tottenham. He's saying, Vincent is saying that maybe this can be a great week. We signed De Jong and Johnny Depp gets a victory in domestic. Okay, I don't want to talk about that. Dutch Christ says, will De Jong be more likely to sign for us on a short contract with the option to go back to Barcelona when they can afford him again, or maybe a loan deal? And so Emma's saying something here. agents and journalists know Man United name gains interest and clicks. It's just plain lazy. But we should stop any plans to sign anyone if they can come out in the papers and be really strict. Can I just add to that as well? You can take me on to full screen now. But I'm just going to say this. Romano has been saying a bid could be made quite soon, within the hour. And he's a trusted journalist, someone that we can all believe in. His success rate, he seems to know what goes on. I mean, if he's saying it, that's where I get my confidence from.
Facts.
Right, OMONDI, your favorite part of the show? Any other business?
Right, I just want to touch on one thing. We talk about any other business. I don't know if you got anything, but I just want to talk about the player from Real Madrid, left-footed player who came from Mallorca, and that would be Marcus Asensio. Now, he could play on the right side of our forward line. I really like him. I've always admired him as a player. He's got a left foot wand. He's a bit like he's just a talented player. He ain't got the drive. He ain't got electric pace to get beyond players or behind players. But when you see the guy turned up at Tottenham, playing the left-footed guy, the Swedish guy, he's not overly rapid, but he's got good technique and he's got good ability and he's a good team player. I liked it. It's out of the blue, but it was mentioned today about Marcus Asensio. He's not getting game time at Madrid. I think he would be a good option to come in because I think he's a super talented player and that excites me. And I think he could fit in well there because like Anthony, look at players like Anthony we're looking at and other players. We need a left-footed player to play in that right-sided forward, inside forward position. And I think he would be one to add to the list. I really do rate him highly. I've always admired that guy, and he's been at Real Madrid for a long time now, not getting enough game time, which he deserves, I believe, as the player he is.
Anything on that, guys?
I seen something about Asensio the other day with Ronaldo's agent. Is it George Mendes? I think I probably got his name wrong. Apparently, he's looking to try and get him to Manchester United as well. But for me, I'd take Asensio because was it 5-6 years ago? He was the next big thing, if we can put it like that. Everyone was going on Asensio this, Asensio that. So yeah, and is his contract running down? So will we get him on a free or
not? Runs out in the next couple of years, 2024, I think, or 2023.
Right, it'll be like a cut price type thing then. So, yeah, I have no issue with getting Essentia, if I'm being honest with you. I'm taking a punt on him.
Would he be similar to when Pedro went from Barcelona to Chelsea? That type of player?
Yeah.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Are you saying Pedro was a success there, Pat? Or are you saying...
No, it was... Well, Pedro was success. Well, it wasn't a bad signing either. He scored some crucial goals, played some good games, but he'd be the equivalent to what I'm saying. You're getting an experienced striker who's not going to light her up like a Ronaldo, but he's going to be consistent.
Yeah.
So
cool. Good shot. Mount as well. Mason Mount. Apparently, we've been linked with Mason Mount. I can't really see this happening. What are you guys thought on this? Have anyone seen the paper or anything going on regarding it?
I've heard it all now. Like we get linked with the window, and I think he's literally the only player I wouldn't have ever linked. But wow, no way they've actually linked us to Mount. I just can't see that happening. Van der Beek, Bruno, and obviously the young boys. I just can't see Mount coming in personally.
That's like the papers have a dartboard and you just throw it at the wall, and whoever sticks to it, right, there we go.
Yeah, we got
Headline. Mason Mount. Ooh, that was a close call.
Sorry, basically, it was announced yesterday. We covered this in the show yesterday. He's been stalling on a contract extension for Mount, and obviously because they think Chelsea are easy pickings at the moment, it was just announced that Eric Ten Hag once said that he was a good player. So this is, like you said, they're throwing darts at random players now, aren't they?
I suppose just to come in briefly, the two of the players that are mentioned, they're English players. There's going to be a major English tax on acquiring either of those two players. Like Mason Mount would probably be quite substantive. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, even with a low contract, as in a year to go, would probably cost us 30+ million. So can we afford really to actually invest that amount of money in players that we might look to be moving on from within a year, 2 years? So there's a lot to be factored in in buying those, I suppose, lower registering players. Mount has a ceiling that could lead to high potential, but again, does he leave Chelsea at this point? I don't think so.
Yes, good call. Guys, we are going to wrap it up here. I'm echoing. I don't know why I'm echoing. I honestly don't know. I can hear feedback. So, guys, let's give a shout out to Petty and Pat. Petty, give us your social, mate, because we know where we can find you on TikTok.
Yeah, so listen, big up to everything, to all the viewers in. So, Petty Talks United on TikTok. Just do daily videos and live streams and stuff. But make sure you smash a like and subscribe to the Man United Agenda, because it's only going one way, and that's up. Come on, the Reds.
The only way is up. Pat, I know you're around. I know where everyone can find you, but we know you also now are on Twitter.
Yeah, you find me on Twitter and you find me around the comments on Man United Agenda. And thanks very much for having me on that. The show is only getting better and better, as Patty said.
Thank you. I'm not even going to ask the rest of you guys where I can find you anyway, so it's pointless. Guys, from us at the United Agenda, I believe we should be back tomorrow, and then on Friday, I think there's a possibility we'll have Jay Motti on Friday with us as well. So, guys, thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, 18 in the chat. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. Please also rewatch the show. We are on the road to 2K subscriber. We're very close to the number of 17 at the moment. So if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, just do so as well. And remember, you can become a member and do exactly what Pat Lawless is doing right now and join in the panel as well to give his 2 pence piece, as what they say. And then on Friday, on Monday, we'll be hosting the takeaway, and we will have Matthew Bassett, Stephen Fletcher will be on it, and there is Thomas, isn't it, Petty? It is Thomas, isn't it? Thomas will be on it as well. So, and on Monday will be hosting, and there's TalkMU on it as well. So, guys, strap in your seatbelt, because on Monday ain't going to make it life easy for them on the channel. He's going to be challenging them. He's coming for them. So, guys, but from us, we've been the Man United Agenda. And as I said, just make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe. Apologies, guys, for tonight, the streaming. I think I'm in the back bedroom and my reception is awful. I'm not sure if it's me, but I'll take the responsibility and the blame for it tonight. So, guys, from us, have a lovely evening, and we shall see you tomorrow. So, good night, everyone.